Hello and welcome to a set of tutorial videos for the Lake Personal Assignment. This is a relatively complex assignment, so there are instructions to download as well as videos to follow, and hopefully I'll keep it as efficient as possible. Lake is pretty awesome. It's the Rolls-Royce of loudspeaker processing. It's unique, it's flexible, and it's quite popular in the industry, and it's also the processor that Clair Global uses, and many NESCOM grads work for Clair Global, so it's worth you checking it out. In this assignment, you're going to design a medium-sized sound system and go through and use many of the features in Lake. It's a pretty exhausting assignment. There's a lot of things to say about Lake. It's cool and it's neat. It's built into a lot of different amplifiers that are built by a company called Labgruppen, and so the processing is in there. You can also find the processing in standalone processors, and NESCOM owns one. NESCOM owns one called the LM44, which is a 4-in 4-out processor, and we're going to use that processor in this lab in simulation. The program is called Lake Controller, and it works on a PC, and it controls these processors regardless of where they physically are. For this lab, you will need a PC, and I think it's probably just easiest if you use the PC that's one of the two laptop computers, PCs that are in the Smart Lab rack drawers. There are two of them in there. I suggest you use the newer one, the newer Dell Live Sound Smart PC if you can, but if somebody's using the other one, you can certainly use the older one as well. They both have this installed. I would just prefer you use the newer one because I can find your work on it more easily. And there's two power supplies for these computers. They both use the same, so you can interchange. One of them is attached to the Smart Rack and one of them is floating in the Smart Rack drawer. Lastly, you could use your own computer. If you're pretty PC savvy, you could install Lake Controller on your computer. I would suggest you make sure you install the same version that's installed on the NESCOM laptops. I do my best to update it, but you should do that. Just make sure it's compatible. Here's the catch. I don't want you to email me a file. You need to actually put your Lake Controller system file on the number one PC, the Live Sound Smart PC, when you're done with it, so it will just load and I can see it in Smart. This is pretty easy to do. Here's the directory here. The document needs to be, when you're done with it, in My Documents, Lake Controller version X system files. You need to put, that's where the file would go eventually. So you'd want to test this and confirm that this works before you dive into your own work on your own computer. I am not going to be responsible for trying to go through a lot of work in order to grade your assignment. It should be on one of these machines. Okay, this will be the first video, and then we'll move on in a moment and dive into getting Lake Controller going. Fantastic.